Welcome back to Coriander Society Adventures. If you're just joining us, we left off as Asena in the penthouse apartment of Jasmine Reese Carrington picked up an old photograph containing a picture of a mysterious young girl, and the room around her faded. And meanwhile, Gastone, what's going on with you, man? How are things?
Things are pretty good back at my lab. Florence is not dematerialized into the ether, so that's a win.
Yeah, you do have to sort of check in on the jury rig. You've got like electric generators hooked up. You've plugged it into the power. The lights flickered when you did that. All that jazz, but seems to still be operating.
Yeah, we do love to see that. I guess at this point, I'm done with all the stuff. Like I've gathered the notes. I've re-upped some things. I made silver bullets, which will be useful later. I can only guarantee. And now I'm pretty much just gonna go straight back to Donahue Institute.
Great. Awesome. Hey, apropos of absolutely nothing, what sort of defenses do you have on your warehouse?
I have traps.
Okay.
Like, just nothing like, trap hole with spikes, but more like trip wires that will in some way or another kind of inform me if I am being invaded.
Alarms and the like.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I was expecting this really crazy mad scientist Kevin McAllister thing going on with like spare wrenches and circuit boards and things like that.
Nothing that cool.
And what's your passive perception?
That's a great question. It is 9.
Damn, unlucky.
Yeah.
But your alarms and stuff, those are pretty good. What skill? And don't give me science for this. It's not really going to be a science thing. What skill would you say is most closely tied to the efficacy of your alarms and the creation thereof?
That's a good question. Like from the skill tree, maybe.
Don't forget your tools. It could be Tinker's. I would take Tinker's tools on this.
Then Tinker's tools.
Okay, great. Make a Tinker's tools check based on your intelligence.
Okay, we love that. All right, let's see. Intelligence.
Hot diggity damn. All right, so you've got all the research notes bundled up. You've cast your silver bullets. Those are cooling. You pick them up. They're still a little hot, but you've got places to go. You don't want to make Hara late by any means. You get everything set up, and then you're looking around, grabbing all your supplies, and you look up, and there's this light on your console flashing. Now, that light was supposed to go alongside like a noise, an alarm. But it didn't. There's a strange breeze in the room. Is it a little draftier than normal?
Yes.
That's weird. Why might that be?
Someone's gone in through the window?
As you look up, you realize that one of the windows at the very highest point of your warehouse is just slightly ajar, just a crack. That wasn't open before, and that should have set off like this klaxon alarm too. That's odd.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I guess I'm just gonna hit the emergency lockdown button.
Okay, what does that do?
Shutters on all of the windows and stuff like that. Basically lock everything down. And I'm just gonna try and head for the secret exit that's like downstairs, super hidden, hopefully. But I mean, I didn't think anyone could get through the window either. So here we are.
Okay. Roll a perception check. All right. You're looking over your shoulder as you make your way to the secret exit, hoping that you're not being followed, hoping that you're alone, hoping that your defenses are going to hold. What's the how do you access your secret exit? Like, is there a thing that you mess with in the lab to open it up? How does that work?
Yeah, pretty much. Just it's a sequence. It's like this keyboard that's, yeah, we'll go like what's the typewriter set kind of keyboard thing that looks like it does nothing. It just sits there on the side, but you know, certain combination of keystrokes, and then it opens up the entrance downstairs. Or no, I wouldn't say open, but like loosens it up and then just.
All right. And where does the exit come out?
Onto the street.
Okay.
Well, street. It's like a port area, but it'll be like just outside.
Okay. All right. You make your way outside. And then from there, how are you going to get across town? Or is there anything else you'd like to do? Are you just booking it across town? Like,
nope, I am just booking it. If anything, I would very much like to. I would very much like to get Saul, if possible.
Okay, so you make for the harbor district. You head down to the pier, like this old creaking area.
Dude, a cat broke into your warehouse and you're fleeing or something.
I know, right? I'm about to say, like, when you get to Saul, what are you gonna say? Like, oh, I felt a breeze.
No, I'm gonna, what's it called? Gonna go to the Donahue Institute.
All right, you make your way down to the docks. The smell of like trash in the harbor and, you know, industrial fumes and stuff just coming up. And there's this chair and this figure sitting in the chair with this big old straw hat over, where you were supposed to meet Saul, and a fishing pole that goes into the water. It's not moving.
What do you mean?
It's just like where you're supposed to meet Saul. There's just this old guy just fishing.
Oh, shit. I guess I'm walking. No, I can get a. Wait, am I still here?
You're still here.
Still connected. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go close to the city and take a taxi.
All right. As you turn around, there's a building up on stilts kind of nearby this area. The bottom of it pops open and Saul pokes his head down from below.
Oh.
Psst.
How do you... What?
Were you followed?
Can I check if I was being followed?
Sure, roll a perception check.
What are you buying?
What are you selling? 15, that's not bad. Okay. You look around. Don't see anybody.
No, I wasn't.
He pops back up. The hatch closes. A couple moments later, a door on the side opens up, and somebody wearing just this immense raincoat and this huge, bulky, like, hat walks out, looking left and right. It's Saul incognito as he walks down. And he's like, where you need to go? Quick, before they spot us.
Donahue Institute. As close to there as can be.
Yep. No, Donahue Institute, garment and chemical, let's see. Yeah, we'll get you to Gloverton. That'll do.
Cool.
All right.
Why does it feel like Saul is just a guy cosplaying a smuggler? Like, he's not really good at this.
Look,
He watched like an old 80s movie where there was a smuggler, and he made his whole thing based off that.
Well, it would have been like a silent film in this case. But
Yeah.
The thing is, he used to be really good at it. Then he got caught up in Dr. Zorbius Brandt. Then he got his mind messed with by RALZAMON. So now, like, as you pass by this old man fishing, you realize it's a straw-stuffed dummy. And that entire section of pier is rigged to launch you into the water.
I take it back. He's amazing.
He gets you in his boat, and he waits for the crossing to be open, and then thing takes off. And as this happens, leaving the warehouse behind on full lockdown, sealed off from the outside world, and a single shadow, a silhouette, is illuminated from below as it stands over the pod containing Florence Giotto, looking down inside, left behind and unattended as Gastone makes his way across the city.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in Bailey Hook, what were you saying, Gastone?
No, I said, wait, what?
You know when you pieced out of your lab, worried someone was in there? You know, and you left Florence in there?
Unattended.
Hey, the lab is locked down now.
With a cat inside or a possum or something.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think they can do anything, so we're cool.
As far as you're aware, everything is fine. Nothing is broken.
All
You know, that's
according
all
to
he
plan.
cares about.
I mean, well, yeah, if nothing's broken, that means the child we're trying to save doesn't die.
Mate, if you kill that little girl because he left the window open, oh man. Chat, punish him if he kills that little girl.
I mean, I don't know if she's like little person.
No, she's like 21.
Okay. Not even
Yeah.
a kid.
She's a young adult.
She probably is little though. She probably don't have any muscles.
That's true. That's true. She's been in that pod for like 4 years.
Pain. Oh, man.
She's been in that pod since she was 17. All right. Meanwhile, John in Bailey Hook at the Coast Guard base, they were you going to spend inspiration to gain that short rest to take a breather while they're outside of the room? You look through, you steal the captain's snacks or something.
Yes, I was going to burn an inspiration, and I was going to take a short rest while I rest in that not so great little laboratory area.
Okay.
And while I do, right before the people who are going to return with the files return, I am going to first of all burn my arcane recovery to get some spell points back because I think I need it. Secondly, I'm going to, when the short rest ends, let me knock off this inspiration real quick. I am going to cast Premonitory Vision.
All right. Describe what this is like when you cast it. While I look up the mechanics, you give me the flavor.
So while he's chewing on the captain's snacks and kind of just taking a breather, refocusing his mind, making sure that he can channel the arcane energy from his traditions of being a scholarly and somewhat out in the field wizard agent, he starts remembering the times that he would meet with a lot of the other arcane scholars and sorcerers and wizards and even those who prayed to gods and worshipped demons and devils and the like. All the different magic users he's come across with, and he remembers a specific one, Medwithin, from the elves. And she taught him the secrets of using the Mordain Vapor in order to access his dreams and visions of things that either have happened or could possibly come to pass. And he pulls out a bit of that tea from his briefcase, takes like a little hit of it.
Microdosing.
And a vision, as he finishes casting the spell at the end of his rest, begins taking part in his mind, and he can see a series of events. And he's trying to focus on Letitia Segumo, the general with which he is taking the guise of now. And he heard something about a motorcade that was supposed to be arriving soon. John wants to find out what kind of timetable he's working with. When is Segumo going to be here, and how likely is it that John is going to be able to get the information he's looking for about Strickland before Segumo arrives?
Okay. You see a flash of vision for a brief moment. A sealed, top secret, classified, stamped on it folder entering your hands. And a massive column of vehicles. So it goes from like your vision of receiving this document, and in the exact same moment, the vision of the guard who you messed with earlier, noticing the motorcade appear over the, like on the strand, on the beach, on its way to him. So those two events will happen simultaneously.
Perfect. And before they arrive, John is going to cast Detect Thoughts as soon as he sees the people who are bringing him the documents approach.
All right. Now, is that a concentration spell?
It is a concentration
Is your
spell.
disguise spell a concentration spell?
It is not a concentration spell.
All right, then.
I looked all this up. I'm making sure that I'm not doing something silly.
Good. Good. All right.
I have a plan.
The two soldiers come back and they have this top secret sealed file. Strickland, it says on it. As requested, sir.
Very good. Thank you very much. And John looks over the file and kind of pretends to be looking through it, letting not too much time pass as the detect thought spell that he has does not last for that long. And he is going to detect the surface thoughts of the two. It's two people, right? How many people is he with right now?
Two soldiers.
Of the two soldiers in the room with him. And John's going to just kind of, while he's looking through this file, he's playing it off as absent-mindedly, but John is trying to use his skills as an investigator in order to ask probing questions of these soldiers and get them not just to, it's less about getting them to speak and more about getting them to think about what their answer should be. And he's looking to probe into their mind, bringing up, like when you tell somebody, hey, think of a pink elephant, and you can't help but think of a pink elephant. Well, he's going to be asking a series of questions over the next minute about Orland Strickland and the plan about capturing him and his co-conspirators. And it's not so much what they're going to say that's important, it's what they're going to be thinking about that he's looking for.
Okay. Roll, give me an insight check and a deception check. Give me those two back to back.
Okay, insight first, here you go.
That's to sort of read
16.
them to figure out like what's the best line of inquiry to hit them with, right? Beyond their surface thoughts. Now back that up with the deception check.
Deception coming in.
A 14 and a 16.
I would like, let me just double check. Can I use it on this? Give me a second here. Investigation and
this is close enough. I'll let you use a deduction die on this. This is investigation.
Perfect. Yes, I was gonna deduction dice it up. So let me go ahead and let me see if this will just work. A 7 added to the deception. So
Okay.
16 and 21.
All right. So a series of thoughts passes through their heads. Things like, they weren't expecting the general to be here so soon. This cell of Omelan's spies must be that important. I wonder what the general's interest in him is. Maybe these are the folks who are behind that attack on Fort Fitz. Curse that old man and his indoctrination and his propaganda corrupting our youths. Are we in trouble? Are we going to get a promotion from this? Why is the general taking a personal interest in this? I really need to pee.
So what I'm getting is they don't know a whole lot. They've just been given orders, and probably this dossier is going to have more of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, you're only absorbing their surface thoughts. They're not thinking about the time that they've been following him, or the secret night classes with the student body, or the other students in his network who are in that dossier who they're following.
Before the spell ends, as I've picked up a few of these surface thoughts and gotten a bit of what I'm looking for, I am going to probe deeper using insight on which one of them is more likely to have the and I'm not saying I'm using this the check you already had me make to kind of size them up, and I'm going to be picking one of them in order to probe in and see if I can look for this information.
Okay, and what information specifically are you looking for?
They would need to make a wisdom save against my spell save DC. And what I'm looking for is specifically, I am looking for memories that entail what the... It's less about what the plans are for capturing him and why is he so important. Is he like a leader of this cell? And you said Omelan spies, right? Specifically?
Yes, Omelan spies.
Well, this is not the Army of the Cliffs. This is the people from across the seas kind of doing their
war.
Big campaign of purification. Yeah, exactly.
The war that the Commonwealth is not involved in right now. That's a wisdom save, you said?
Yes. Against a DC of 19.
Okay, well, 10 is not going to cut it. So you pierce deeper into his mind, and you learn that they've been tracking Dr. Strickland for a while because they believe that he is teaching the students at Northport Provincial University to believe in the Omalon Code. That if one generation undergoes horrible suffering and pain and labor, they can set up a utopia for 1,000 generations. This one generation suffers for 10,000 years of prosperity. And in order to bring that about, they have to topple every government and reestablish every world order.
Oh my god.
And those are the
what
folks
he's thinking about?
Yeah, well, he's thinking about the fact that they believe Dr. Oren Strickland is the leader of a cell of Omalon spies recruited from amongst the student body, those who are sympathetic to this cause, that he is training in order to go out and commit sabotage or assassination or just reconnaissance to collect information about the Commonwealth that is not yet involved in the war.
And what are they going to do if they capture him?
Bring him in for interrogation. That's not their job. But if he's a spy, he'll know people. He'll know other spies. And so if they can bring him in and have him interrogated, they might be able to crack the whole network.
Now, point of order, mate. This person that I'm probing into knows that I'm doing this, or rather knows that it's happening, not necessarily that it's me. And so I'm going to fix my gaze on him as the general and kind of hit him with one of those like one of those soul piercing stares and be really focusing on him with my line of inquiry, trying to pass this off as he's kind of just freaking out under the gaze of this important general.
General Sagomo sort of has this reputation already. Roll a deception check. And roll an intimidation check and take the better of the two as your final result.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Sort of a modified split advantage.
23 for intimidation. That makes more sense.
Okay, yeah. So this guy knows his mind is being pierced, but he thinks the general is just that scary and can see right through you, and he believes it. There's a hubbub at the front gate. What do you do?
I make sure that I take the files, I stack them neatly, and I go ahead and open up my briefcase, place them aside. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You did a very good job today. Why don't you go ahead and head to the front. I think that they're going to need your help with the motorcade.
Yes, sir. Thank you, General Sagomo, sir. And then what do you do?
From there, I am going to... Ooh, actually, no, I didn't want to forget my plan. I did have a cool little thing here. I am going to hit them with before they leave, I'm going to cast mass suggestion on the both of them. Or actually, wait a minute.
Can an amplified suggestion hit multiple targets without having to cast mass suggestion? Is that what you're looking at?
So let me tell you my plan here.
Okay.
My plan is to suggest the both of them and then modify their memory to where they don't even realize that this course of action was suggested in the first place. However, modify memory can normally only hit one target. Would I be able to give you an inspiration to hit the both of them?
Yes, I would definitely accept that.
Perfect. Then I'm going to cast mass suggestion, and I am going to suggest to them that they head to meet the motorcade, and I want them to try to locate the real Utushi Sagumo, and I want them to believe he's an imposter.
Oh.
That he is actually infiltrated. They got information that he infiltrated the motorcade, switched out with the real one, and is an Omalon spy. Looking to get information and cause all kinds of crazy mischief here.
Oh my god.
And if they are apprehended and discovered, I want them to reveal that something happened with Strickland. Now, this is part of the modified memory. The suggestion is just going and messing with Sagumo.
Right.
And believing he's a spy. My modified memory is going to erase the last few moments of me actually casting that spell on them. And then if they're interrogated, they believe that their botched grab of Orlin was actually twisted around and that they possibly were themselves indoctrinated, like they were
Okay, so the
themselves
reason
were-
they
were
have
brought
holes in
in-
their memory is because they got hit with Omelon mine bullets.
Exactly.
Okay. They both get saving throws against your suggestion and against your modify memory. So,
Yep, that is correct.
are all, and I think these are all wisdom saves, right? Asena, by the way,
That is
you're up next.
Correct.
Okay, so wisdom save the first for Soldier 1, Ralph, and Soldier 2, Eric. Yeah, the suggestion takes place in their mind. And like as they pause for a moment as it weaves in, you start just going through their memories and then re-editing it like you're programming a brain dance.
Exactly.
All right. Wisdom save the first, wisdom save the second.
A 19 does meet it on one of them.
All right. So his memory will not be modified. Give me your inspiration, give me your spell points, and as they walk away from the room, what do you do?
I am going to go back to my car very quickly. I am going to cast Reduce on the car, shrinking it down to a rather large 400-ish pound vehicle like I did back at the impound lots. And then I end up, well, so first I hit the car, move it to a small little area, do this, I then resummon the floating disc like I did last time, and then I have the disc slowly follow me as I have an illusion that it's like, I don't know. No, I just have an illusion that it's not there.
Okay.
I just make sure that it looks like I'm carrying a briefcase. It looks like the actual disc is just me carrying along a briefcase.
Are you just putting like a luggage trunk or something?
And as soon as no eyes are on me, I go ahead and I take the amulet, the red kiss in hand, and I use it to cast invisibility, and I just walk out of there.
Okay, so you use the red kiss to cast invisibility?
Correct, which does not mess with my concentration.
Okay. Roll a wisdom saving throw.
You would pull that horse shit right now, wouldn't you?
I would.
17.
Okay. The power of the red kiss pulses in your hand like a twisted heartbeat. You clear your mind of its malign influence, and then you start to just... and you walk off. As you do so, you go past the motorcade, you see them pulled up. You see that long, smooth black car. And as you walk by, the window goes down. And the real General Sagomo, with his salt and pepper hair, his starched collar, the real General Sagomo looks out right at you. There's a raven on his shoulder with burning red eyes. And it gives out a No one else reacts
Point of
to
order.
it.
I still look like him, by the way, even though I'm invisible.
He stares right at you and goes back to his business.
Cool.
All right. Meanwhile,
He says. Oh,
I don't know how you pulled that off.
I haven't yet.
how much magic do you have left, dude? You've been burning through that stuff.
I have been, and I use an arcane recovery, which gives me a lot back, so I'm actually not that bad. The one spell is a ritual when I come out of my rest, so that's expensive,
nice.
but it's
Okay.
free, baby.
Just the anxiety of that situation, though. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I always get anxiety when I watch shows like that. Like if somebody breaks into someone's place and is rifling through it, but then they come back, like I can't handle it. It just drives me up the wall.
yeah. It's like watching a crime show on TV. Like, all my family watches it. And I'm just like, how do you do this? Like, this is not a good feeling.
Depending on the show, as long as I get past the first 5 minutes when somebody dies horribly, I'm usually okay. But again, it depends on the show.
You're desensitized.
Speaking of dying horribly,
Oh, God.
Asena, it's hot. It's dark. Everything is shaking. You hear this howling scream nearby that just goes and goes. And you feel like you're being dragged into the darkness.
Oh, God.
What do you
Okay.
do?
I'm gonna take like a defensive position. Like, I'll be like crouched on the ground, sort of like a cat that's like ready to jump. God, thank God I could see in the dark. So you'll see like my pupils sort of widen so that way I could see a bit better. Probably like gesture at Chester to get over here with me.
Chester's gone.
Fuck.
And
Wait,
you
what?
can't see in the dark.
I can't see.
No, you can't. All you can see is the light of a fire burning dangerously close to you in the inside of this metal structure.
What the hell? Okay. So I'll just slowly stand when I realize that like I cannot do anything. I gotta make my way. I'm gonna approach the fire slowly.
Okay. The fire is burning inside the cabin that you currently occupy. The whole room shakes and tilts to the side, and the floor shudders underneath your feet. It's a small, small room with a bunk bed, a chair, a desk, and a round window. And the fire is coming from the door, the only door into this room, and it's blocking you off.
Of course it is. Okay, so is there anything else in the room?
Blankets, journal, a couple of bits and bobs, a hat, too large for you.
Okay, weird. I'll go, like, sort of feel on the door and then feel that it's warm, right?
It's on fire.
It's on fire.
It's on
Okay.
fire.
Maybe I can try to kick open the window.
Okay. As you go over to the small round window that's connected to the wall by metal rivets and you kick on it, your foot is tiny. It's so small. And outside, you can see flaming debris falling all around you. And far below is a dark jungle canopy stretching out below you, illuminated by the light of a bloody red moon and the fire of the burning airship you're in that is about to crash into the jungle.
What the hell? Okay. I'm going to like retreat into the corner of the room and just be like, this is not happening. This is not real. I don't like this. And I'll just be like, can we stop? I don't know what's happening. Can we stop doing this?
Roll a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
$16. Okay. As you just start asking somebody, anybody, just demanding that this nonsense stop immediately, you are sitting on the couch in the penthouse, and Philip and Jasmine are looking, just staring at you. And you can hear the last of your words asking that this stop echoing off the walls of the penthouse.
I'm just on the couch now.
Yeah, just exactly where you were a moment ago, holding this photograph so hard that the frame has cracked.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that on the ground
Okay.
and just like get up and be like, what just happened? What was that?
All right. Philip and Jasmine, pieces of glass from the photograph are scattering all over the floor. As you throw it down, they're mingling into the nice plush carpet. And Jasmine just whispers, Evelyn?
know who Evelyn is.
You.
But that, I didn't like that.
What just happened? What happened to you? What happened?
I don't know. You gave me the thing, and there was fire, and it was a cabin, and it was all on fire, and I don't want to go there again. I don't want to touch that ever again. I'm gonna like get up and like
Okay.
go into the corner.
Okay.
I
You
do
step
not
off.
want to be on the couch with them anymore.
You step off into the corner of the lounge. You're right next to the sliding glass door that leads out into a balcony that oversees the entire city. It looks out to the eastern side of the city, so you can see Aelberg from here. You can see Tide Point. You can see the river, the absolute desolation of the neighborhood that you call home. And then on the far side of the city, you've got the rolling hills where the Institute is. You can just see everybody's lives playing out before you, all across the city for a moment. From behind you, it seems like it's 1,000 miles away as your heart pumps in your chest. You can hear one of them collecting the shards of glass carefully.
This isn't my character. I'm not even here, and my chest is like.
Yeah, right?
Right? Feel bad for the photo frame. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I mean, it's inanimate.
Point of order, I could fix it. Just FYI.
Oh, good to know.
Good to know.
Glad you're not here yet. Is Chester back?
Yeah, Chester's here. Chester was never not here.
I know. So
Chester
great.
does join you on the balcony, and is kind of doing that nice cat thing, like, "Hey man, are you okay?" Not that you're a man, but hey dude, you okay? You need a cat?
Yeah, I need a cat.
All right.
I'm
I
gonna
assume
like that Chester's there. I'm also gonna like sort of like grip onto my necklace and just kind of. She's just gonna stand there. She
it's
does not
cool
like that.
to the touch. It is like it's been out in a winter night. It's the exact opposite of that fire that you were just experiencing a moment ago. It sends a chill through your body. It makes you shudder, but it's almost reassuring in a way.
Yeah, that's nice. It's gonna calm me down a little bit.
Roll a perception check with disadvantage.
Oh man. Okay,
You're a little shook up.
I am. Oh man.
On second one would have been cool.
Yeah, right? You can hear muttering going on as, like, there was a pause of just pure shock. And you can hear Jasmine, like, speaking quickly in just this tense, hushed voice to Philip. But your head is so full of other emotions that your normally, predator reflexes and senses are just scrambled. You're not focused on what they have to say.
Okay. So she's probably like sitting and thinking. Well, she's not sitting, but she's thinking. She's playing it over. Still worried and upset. But beginning to put things together and be like, I think I was in the Zeppelin or whatever it was. I didn't like it though. I don't know what's going on, but some freaky mind things keep happening to me. And I'm sorry for breaking your photo frame. But don't you dare make me touch that again.
How old are you?
I don't know. John says I might be like 25 or 26, but I'm not too big on the details.
They always told me that I should buy smelling salts, and I always told them that they're a bunch of just because I'm a lady doesn't mean I'm going out at the first sign of something tough happening. I should have bought smelling salts. She sits herself back down and just drinks the entire glass of brandy, just knocks it back.
Does she think I'm crazy? What is the smell?
Smelling salts are like these really awful just chemicals that are supposed to shock you awake. It was this cliche back in the day that, oh, you know, if a woman faints because things are too tough, bring her the smelling salts to awaken her.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Why don't we move, and why don't you tell us everything? Philip says. You don't have to sit here. We can go out on the balcony in the open air.
Okay. We're gonna go to the balcony.
All right. They head out there with there's a nice little, some sun chairs set out there, some fronds.
I'm bringing my
and
brandy
plants.
too.
You bring your brandy, done.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. It's an important detail. Evelyn brings the ice bucket and the whole goddamn, like, bottle of stuff. Jasmine just wants you basically to tell her everything you remember from the very beginning.
From my memory or from the crazy thing that you did to me?
Just about you, sweetheart. Just about you. And it's up to you, by the way, Janessa, if you want to actually narrate all of this out loud or if you just want to say, okay, I do that. It's totally up to you.
Right. Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah.
Quick question.
Go for it.
Is this post fort shenanigans for John?
It's all fairly simultaneous.
Just, I don't want to interrupt. Just, John would be checking in once he's out of danger in the cat.
Okay, you're not out of danger, not yet.
Cool. Just checking.
Okay. I'll explain how I was just raised in the jungle. I didn't even know that where I lived was the crash site until I saw the photograph. And I'll tell them the full story about like the boy that I met. Like I don't think I've told Gastone and John about the boy that I had met. That was like my first human friend. And I don't know what happened, but when I came back, the humans killed all my wolf family. There was some sort of like gun battle or whatever, and everyone was dead. And I found some sort of body in a map to Northport and a drawing about the same necklace that I have. I'm just gonna spill it all because she doesn't know what to do at this point. Like, she doesn't really believe in secrets, right? Because, you know, if the bad people get information, she'll just kill them. So,
Bro.
But good call.
she's just gonna spill everything that she has to know. And, you know, she's not exactly sure if she should be trusting these people, though she wants to. She's still very on edge.
All right.
And then she's gonna finish that glass of brandy.
Done and done. All right. We are going to leave you off there. We will catch up with Asena in a moment. We're going to catch up with Gastone, where everything is absolutely going 100% completely fine. Nothing is wrong. There's nobody inside the warehouse. Yeah, so great stuff. It takes you a little bit of time to get across the river and across town in this boat, but he drops you off somewhat surreptitiously, and you're able to make your way, hail a cab, etc. Unless, feel free to interrupt, by the way, if what I'm saying is not in line with what you're trying to do. Feel free to interrupt. All right. And so, in good time, and roughly, because you're doing a lot of travel, it's going to take a little while for this to actually catch up with the other timelines, but you will return to the Donahue Academy. What do you do upon your arrival?
I guess first thing I'll do is talk to Opal, just so I can get a hold of Hara. But I mean, knowing my luck, the second I walk into the office, Hara's just going to be there, so...
Yeah, I called it. Like, you're not even surprised at this point. You just walk in and there's this, like, crackle along your skin. You're like, okay, yep, that's fine.
Yep, here she is, of course. Yeah, I'm just going to walk in and, you know, the hellos and all that good stuff, and I'm just going to hand her the documents.
All
as
right.
promised.
She grabs them, shuffles through them for a moment. So why are you working with Carmichael?
Happenstance, if I'm being real. It just kind of came about, and things continued to come about, and here we are. That's I didn't realize how spontaneous all this was until you asked.
Yeah. You normally don't. And how long are you planning on working with him?
I don't know. I'm not the most forward thinking. It's more of a deal with what's happening right now. Oh?
Yes. When people like you come in John Carmichael's path, he changes them into whatever it is that he needs. If you don't know exactly what you want and who you are and why you're involved with him, the answers to those questions will change. And you won't even notice it happening.
How do you... Has this happened before, or...
Oh,
Where
yes.
is this coming from?
I learned from him for a while. Traveled with him. All sorts of places.
Sounds like something happened, though.
Yes. I would not leave my mind unguarded in his company. And I would come to some decisions very quickly about how long you're working together. And not lose sight of your own objectives.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
We'll help this girl. There's iron in her voice when she says that. Just certainty.
That's good. That's gonna be my next question. How are we gonna go about moving her?
I'll take care of it. I can arrange for transportation. I just need to verify everything in here so I know the risks. She starts tabbing through Zorbius' notes. Power supply. Lifting. Yeah. I'll see to this myself. When should I drop by to collect?
Well, you know what? For the sake of efficiency, long story short is before you go there, I need to head back to the warehouse myself. I'm not going to be able to do that until later on in the day, so I think first thing tomorrow will be best.
Very well. Just after dawn.
Sounds good.
She just gives you a nod and then goes back to looking through Dr. Zorbius' notes and sketches and diagrams. She doesn't say it, but you get the distinct impression that you've been dismissed.
Yeah, I'll be taking my leave then, and I'm just gonna walk away.
All right.
Just to clarify, are those copies of Zorbius' notes or are those the actual notes?
Copies.
Cool. Just making sure.
Good enough. Good enough. Okay. John, what's up?
Yeah.
You are in the process of escaping from the Coast Guard base.
Yeah, been there, done that. Invisibility. I'm gone, baby, unless you say otherwise.
No, you're good. You make it down the beach a good distance. It really is like the Coast Guard base is just sort of out on the very end of this spit of land that stretches out into the harbor. Let me see if I can pull this up for the benefit of our viewing audience. Yeah. So these few docks around here are all part of the Coast Guard base. It stretches out all the way to the promenade. So you have to go, and Bailey Hook is mostly just beaches. Like it's where people go to sun themselves and on holiday, stuff like that. Seaside is a little bit better for that, but it's not super habited. or inhabited. That's a word.
Yeah. So as soon as John is a respectively safe distance from the event, but with as much haste as he can manage in his invisible form, he basically dismisses the little force disc that's holding the reduced car. He drops the spell. Car resumes its normal size. He hops in, dropping his disguise as General Sugumo, and initially just casually drives away, but eventually peels off and makes great distance, getting the vehicle back down to the Donahue Institute. And whenever he gets to a red light or a stop sign, anywhere he can safely check in as Chester, he does so just to see how they're doing. The last time he left them, they were leaving the Institutes, and he's kind of hoping just to get a beat on what's going on with his friends.
Okay. Asena, up to you. What is Asena saying at the exact moment that Chester tunes into Jono-vision?
Ooh.
And you don't have to give me exact verbiage, but like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, probably like the stuff that John doesn't know. So that way John could be like, what the hell? Why
Maximum
shouldn't you tell
drama.
me that? So like the bit about how the humans killed like her wolf family and like how she found the drawing. Yeah.
But John can for sure tell she's out on a balcony talking to the Carringtons.
Yes. Jasmine and Philip.
Okay, good to know. And no Gastone anywhere.
Correct.
Okay. Question, Mr. Joseph Mann. Can a wizard, while driving a car, cast a concentration spell that takes, 10 minutes to cast?
No. I mean, yes.
Not with great difficulty?
But it's not advisable. This is a good chance you could... Imagine texting while driving, except you're also calculating complex, logarithmic formulas and such.
Yes. On the daily, I do this. It's awful. If I can do it in real life, can my character do it in the game?
No! Bad Matt!
Really good text and driving.
But I could probably throw a goblin 30 feet, Joe. My gosh. I think my guy should be able to do it too. I want to scry on Gastone to make sure he's okay, but I'm gonna... He seems like a smart guy. I feel like I want to get to the Institute first, and then I'll make my decision from there.
I have this idea of a wizard whose car, like... Your rear view mirror is this really expensive silver mirror, so you can use it as a scrying focus. So you can just...
Hey, wait a minute. Quick question. I have a freaking smartphone as a spell book. There's no way that I can, have my phone just next to me and then be, doing my equations just, bit by bit while I'm driving? That's not a possibility?
No, you absolutely can, but there's a chance you will crash that vehicle. It's distracted. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you make an Arcana check with disadvantage, a Concentration check with disadvantage, and a Drive Land Vehicles check with disadvantage. You're not exactly trying to run the NASCAR race right now, so it will be a difficult check.
I would do it. No, John would totally do that. No. I would take disadvantage on all this.
Look, this is supposed to happen before you become a wizard, like Doctor Strange. You're supposed to do the texting and driving before you lose your hands and become a wizard, not afterwards.
I know, right? Oh, what have I done? No. But I figured John's not, it's not like I'm flying on the freeway. He's going, street level. So I'm hoping worse will happen in this fender bender, but I want to make sure Gastone's okay. So
Arcana check, disadvantage. Concentration check, disadvantage, which is a Constitution saving throw, disadvantage. Okay, 23 on the Arcana. Give me that Constitution saving throw.
I didn't know it was going to be the con saving throw. Oh, shit. That'd be a 6.
And give me a Drive Land Vehicles with disadvantage.
A Drive Land Vehicles. Here we go. And is that going to be Dexterity?
Yes.
All right. My stuff is paid off. Hold on, I'm not done yet. I'm going to be using... John is a very lucky individual. I'm using one of my luck points for the day to re-roll my con save and take the better.
Okay. Roll one more con save, a flat con save.
Yep. I'll take the 11 instead of the 6.
If you had botched your driving check, then you would have gotten in a fender bender, and that concentration check would have been that much harder. So,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna say you're you're just looking down at the exact moment that the light changes and somebody's about to pull out and get in front of you, but there's an old person walking across the street really slow, and they're like, the person behind the wheel is incredibly rude, just honking at them. They just flip them the bird and keep walking past, and because of that, by the time you look up, you're golden. Luck saves the day.
Yes.
All right,
also, John does this all the time. I'm used to it. That's why I don't worry about it.
Remember, kids, don't text and drive. And so you're doing this to cast Scrying on Gastone?
Yes, I want to make sure, since I know that she's with the Carringtons and that Asena seems to be all right, I just want to make sure that Gastone's okay.
And does that have audio visual or just audio or just visual?
Let me pull up Scrying for you real quick, because that's a high level spell. Give me a second here. Wabam! You can see and hear a particular creature you choose on the same plane of existence as you.
Okay.
The target must make a wisdom saving throw, or if they know that I'm going to be scrying on them, they can choose to fail to save.
Okay. Gastone does not know that you're being... Oh, no. Actually, Gastone doesn't know, so he does roll a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, so I am very familiar with him, so he has a -5, so that's a 24.
But you don't have a piece of his hair.
I did not say that I have a piece of his hair or anything like that. No. I'm trying to think if I...
Wisdom's -1, so...
Okay, well then, yeah, roll for it, man. Roll for it. I'll make a case for it if it turns out we need it. Yeah, no, we're fine.
Okay. In accordance with convention, I'm pretty sure you have to tune in exactly when Hara is saying all those mean things about you, right?
Yep, that tracks.
Like at that exact moment. And I'm adding one addendum to this conversation. Gastone, as she's saying this to you, she keeps talking, but she looks at a point past you, and her eyes sharpen with just this intense focus. She's looking at something else, and she keeps talking. Her words drip with just a bit of like static electricity as she speaks. It passes, and she keeps on talking to you.
Huh.
And I listen in as long as I'm driving. I just kind of like, you know, like we said, Bluetooth going. I'm just like, okay, yeah, just listening in, making sure things are okay. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, he's with Hara, which is, you know, complicated, but I knew that was going to happen. So,
it's
although when she does say the things about, you know, inferring that John messes with people's brains and, you know your goals and all that stuff, John does actually grip the reel fiercely. There's a moment where John starts seeing red. The infernal talisman on his chest burns. And he has to kind of shake out of that inbred anger for a moment while her words kind of touch him to his very core. And he kind of, under his breath, oh, it's not fair and you know it.
All right. For, again, according to convention, I will say that you pull up. When do you pull up to the academy? Is it right as Gastone is leaving? We're not going to do that scene, but you have to call it now.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good thing. When Gastone is making to leave, looking to get a taxi, John pulls up. Hey, need a ride? Actually, no, I got to drop this off. Let's leave this here. John literally just pulls it up to the gate, just abandons there, tells passes the keys to the nearest service person, and says, hey, I found this. You might want to keep a better eye out on your toys. And locks eyes with Gastone, gestures him over, and leaves. Makes way with to leave.
Yes.
Makes off. Yep, makes off with Gastone.
We're not at the point of this project where we have shipping yet.
Look, I haven't started wooing him yet. We can't just do that, okay?
All right. Meanwhile, in Newton, as Asena finishes her conversation, chat handed out a treasure. So I'm going to figure out a way to resolve this right as part of this scene. So you finish telling your entire story, and Philip is sort of looking from you to his mother like he's uncertain. He's just absorbed a lot of information. He's not sure what to do with all of it. And Jasmine will take all this into consideration. And then she'll tell you some of her story. Her husband, Aloysius' son, Augustine, took their 2 children, Philip, and she looks at you and then looks away as if she's not even sure to think, and my daughter, Evelyn, to the Zolquian jungles for a grand conjunction, the great eclipse, a perfect alignment of the sun, the moon, and the stars. It was to usher in a new generation of humanity, to end this age of illusion and ignorance, and anoint the children, our children, with the enlightenment and blessings to guide humanity towards truth, to become the children of the eclipse. I always participated in my husband's beliefs and studied the ancient ways of Zolquia and distant lands and communion with the dead and seeing past the veil of reality, but I didn't want to endanger the 2 of you. It was a step too far, but it was more important to him and to his friends in that society of theirs than anything else in the world. And neither he nor my daughter ever came back. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but when they did return, those who came back, those who survived, they came with new faces, new leaders for the army of the eclipse, and they took over. And they went from just an organization that was trying to guide humanity towards greater understanding and shield us from the magic of other worlds to something else, something entirely different. And they had real power. It wasn't just the teachings and the meditation and the trances and the spirituality. They had real power, terrifying power over the minds of men, over the living and the dead, over the elements of nature itself. And they completely took over the society that my husband had belonged to with some others. And my father, Aloysius, he tried to counter them at first. He tried to be a voice of reason to guide them back to the true path. But whoever these new faces were, they had too much sway. They had too much just influence. And so we cut all ties with them. They had already cost us so much. They cost us blood. And later on, they went on to cost us our family name. And they are still out there, and they are still in positions of power in this city. And I don't know what to make of you. You look so much like her, but changed somehow. Harsher, with the wrong eye color, and something else I can't put my finger on. I want so much to believe that you're my daughter, Evelyn, but I think there's only one way to be sure.
But what is that way?
The leader of the army of the... There's a cat in the camera. Just big old fluffy, hungry cat just in the middle of this moment. Hey, buddy, you're going to have to wait.
I like how Chester just like walks up and just walks across Jasmine as she's saying this very...
It's literally his tail passes in front of her face. We have to consult with the spirit of Josiah Parsons.
Oh, shoot.
Our leader.
Well, that's a thing that they can do. Apparently.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Asena will sigh.
Mm-hmm.
And say that, like, I mean, I very much want to know where I came from as well. And it would be nice to have someone in the world that I was connected to in some way, but I mean, I don't even know what difference this is all gonna make.
All the difference in the world. Not just to me, not just to you, This could be about more than just my daughter. And your mother? This could be about the dawn of a new age.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that you guys were the kind of bad guys.
What has become of the Army of the Eclipse now is nothing to do with the original teachings. It's a mockery, a blasphemy, the exact opposite of what they were meant to do.
And so that's why you're making Tomorrow Town.
Yes, to protect us from whatever followed them from the other side.
And if I'm not that missing girl, then what am I?
Well, whatever you decide, I guess.
That's a good answer.
Okay. I mean, this Josiah person is dead, right?
Yes, but death is only the beginning for the enlightened mind. It is simply a change in your state of being, an illusion that blinds the eyes of those who have yet to see the truth.
Do we have to do some sort of, like, fancy ceremony? Like,
Yes.
what's gonna happen?
But
I don't have to drink a tea, do I?
What? No, why would you drink a tea in a ritual to see beyond time and space? That makes no sense whatsoever. Who would do that?
John's always trying to give me some tea. I don't know.
John? Wait, no, you told her everything. That would include your involvement with John. All right. Yeah, she'd still be committed to this. If you...
Oh yeah, was Philip any sort of way?
He gets a little flustered and kind of embarrassed, but tries to brush it off.
Okay.
Can John be in the cat during this part of the conversation?
Never say that again.
God, you are such a weirdo. Gosh, can John be looking through the eyes and ears of Chester?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
goodness gracious.
First off, the treasure I want to give Asena in this instance is a ceremonial Zolkwian necklace with a diamond in it.
Oh,
Really shiny.
It's going to be part of the ritual, but it's also something that, like, if you asked for it, she would let you keep.
Oh, okay.
What treasure?
I don't think she's gonna ask. I think she's just gonna assume it's hers now.
Then I think she's just not going to get corrected. So a ceremonial Zolkwian necklace with a large diamond. And I think that Chester should probably steal something while he's in the apartment, since Chat gave Chester a treasure, right?
Yeah.
Any ideas for what Chester would steal?
Yes. First of all, when John is looking, I wanted to have Chester cast telepathic bond between Asena and Chester, which includes, I'm hoping, John when John is as Chester.
Okay. Are you driving, or, like, I imagine you hopping in a taxi or something with Gastone and saying, "Look, it's a long story. Give me a moment."
No, I would absolutely be like, "Hey, you need to watch out for me," and just be old man checking in and out. Like, hold my hand, Sonny.
Let's actually tab over to you guys, because I have a plan for the pacing here. Let's tab over for you guys. Well, no. Asena, first you have to decide if you're willing to go along with this. If you are, she wants to bring the three of you into the study, that room she was in a moment ago.
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Like right now?
Yeah, right now.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but
Mhm.
I'll tell her that I got the heebie-jeebies.
There is nothing
like
to be
it.
afraid of. You are used to seeing the world through a curtain of iron, but through our teachings, you will see past that into the true golden world.
Could John have already established this link that I was talking about?
Yeah, let's tab over now because this is some let's tab over now as they're having this conversation. Like I said, all right, Gastone, John pulls up in the car. John, what do you do?
I
You
ditched
pass the
car.
keys, you ditch the car,
Pass the
you
keys, ditch the car,
hassle the valet.
Uh-huh,
Gastone, what do
absolutely.
you do?
All those things.
Just to make sure, are we back? We're still at the Donahue Institute, right? He
Yeah,
just
like
returned the
as
car.
you're leaving, John pulls up. That's the scene.
Ah.
Like you just had this conversation with Hara. You are heading out down the fine, huge brick driveway, the lush gardens, the fountains, the iron wrought fence around, the supers testing their superpowers. All about. And as you walk up to the gate, on the outside of the gate, John pulls up in the car that you originally drove to the morgue, kind of when this adventure started. He hassles the valet, throws him the keys, flags you down.
Right. You said you said we could see the supers testing their powers. Do we see what was that one little super's name? Hitch?
Quirk?
Quirk? No, was it Quirk? Was Quirk the one I gave the little device to? I'm pretty sure it was Quirk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quirk's the one with the random
Yeah.
powers who was like looking to steal something. No. That was like what, this morning that you dropped them off?
Oh yeah, right.
They're not at the point where they're just running around here. Test your wild magic. See what happens.
Yeah.
That's gonna be done under controlled circumstances.
They're still getting the dorms checked out.
Yeah, they have to get the syllabus. They have to take the tour. Get all the policies and procedures.
Okay, then I'm pretty much good to leave. I guess I'll say hello to John. And where should we go from here?
Okay,
guess-
so first of all, I have some incredible news. Real quick, I need to check in with Asena, but here, and I pass him the dossier that I stole from the military compound that has all the information about Strickland, the Omelon spies, whatever is in there. Pour through this, get the important stuff, give me your assessment. And I'm assuming John's been kind of like looking through it when he's not scrying and just kind of been.
He's got like his cell phone in one hand, this dossier full of information and photos in the other, and he's staring with his knees.
I'm assuming it took me like half an hour to get down here. I figure I'm sparsing out the time. Again, not the John. That's why he's saying you check it out. I've only like barely looked through it, that whole thing. But I kind of took this from somewhere that's going to miss it, and I'm probably going to need to return it literally as soon as possible, or else I don't know. Bad stuff could happen. So
why do you have this?
it could be very important. I'm not entirely sure. I stumbled into
Who's
it.
Do I even know who Dr. Strickland is? I feel like this is part of this act of God that I actually wasn't part of.
Yeah, well, honestly, like, this is fine. This is fine. This is in character. The knowledge that you have in real life and the knowledge your character has are in alignment. So, do you have any contacts at Northport Provincial University? It's in like it's like an Ivy League school, northeastern part of town by Old Town. It's got a very famous museum with lots of Zolkwian artifacts. I think there's 2 universities in town. Oh yeah, so University of Northport is the private school. That's in Greenvine. That's like super Ivy League. Northport Provincial, it's like a really good state school, if you want to think of it that way.
And Northport Provincial is the school that we were talking about. If I
Yes.
know anybody from there.
Yeah.
That's a good question. If there's anything to do with, no, nothing comes to mind.
This guy teaches
Unless there's,
political history. This doesn't sound like it's in your field at all.
Yeah, he's a
It's
super
definitely
academic.
not.
Mm-hmm.
So long story
Nerd.
accurate. Long story short, one of my contacts up in the Ivy League school to the north of Northport was going to get kidnapped.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I do these things. He was going to get kidnapped, and I ended up tailing the people who were going to kidnap him. I thought they were a part of the Omelon spies. Turns out they're with the military, and they think he's an Omelon spy. Beyond that, it looks like they're probably right. Maybe. Anyways, this is some literally classified material that I kind of figured you'd be itching to get your hands on, and also I want to know what's going on. But importantly, our friend is getting involved in some really crazy stuff, so I'm going to check in on Senna real quick. Can you grab us a taxi? I'm going to be checked out for a while, so just pretend I'm like your old grandpa that you need to like move around to the car. I'm not going to be able to see or hear you, so please don't leave me in a ditch somewhere, okay? I'm trusting you, Gastone.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Why don't you head up to the Carrington's establishment? We need to meet Senna there like 2 hours ago. We're going to be heading to, where is that? Newton. So look for the Carrington's estate in Newton. That's where we're going.
Huh.
And John checks out of John and checks into Chester at that point.
That's not too far from your base of operations, by the way. It's like the Harbor District is, this industrial commercial zone, but Newton is downtown. It's one of the hearts of downtown. So this is only like several blocks away from where you live. So you know the area. Now, a little bit of background on the Omelons. There's a war going on. This world, it's like the 1930s, and it's not Earth, but there's a lot of parallels. There's a big war going on in the next continent over, the Old Country. That war is between one group that's trying to conquer the crap out of everybody. The Commonwealth, this country, is not yet involved. Again, World War II parallels. But the aggressors, they aren't really spawned from any one nationalist or country. They're believers in this doctrine, this philosophy, that if this generation is willing to make horrible sacrifices, wipe out a lot of the population, enslave a bunch of people in order to build like aqueducts, towns, cities, permanent structures, just build up this incredible infrastructure, one generation of horrible suffering, after that, they can end all those policies and institute a utopia for everyone else. They think that in one lifetime...
End the policies.
Yeah, they believe that in one lifetime of difficulty and strife, they can create a golden world. Bad choice of words. No connection to the Army of the Eclipse. They can create like this perfect society afterwards. So in the name of this doctrine, they are conquering the crap out of people and enslaving people and killing people because they have this, we just need to have our population at this, and we need to have our agriculture set up like this, and we need to have our infrastructure set up like this to optimize for the next 1,000 years. So this war is going on. The Commonwealth is not involved in this war. This war is in the newspapers. It's on the radios. Some people have opinions about it. Some people are like, look, that's not our business. That's overseas. Who cares about that? That's just a little bit of context. I have not really explored this plotline a lot yet, mostly because there's a lot going on. But we have stumbled into it. So it is up to you whether your character has an opinion on this at all, if they care about this at all. When you are handed this top secret classified military document, Gastone.
Right.
And John, I'm going to take you out of the picture for a moment to just get you caught up, like you're catching up on the back scroll of Asena's scene, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent.
I'm hoping to let Gaston finish his scene, and then I'll check in right where we left off with Asena's.
Perfect. All right. So, Gastone, you have this dossier. What do you do with it?
I'm gonna read it.
Mm-hmm.
And, what do I learn from it?
Give me a skill check of some kind. I'll tell you something no matter what, but like if you get a applicable skill check, I'll give it to you faster. You won't have to spend as much time because there's a lot of information in here.
Investigation?
Yeah, I'll totally take investigation. 12.
Banger.
Okay.
Boom.
They have been following this professor of political history. They believe that at night he's taking students and teaching them the philosophy of the Omelons, trying to get them on board with this idea that it's our duty to suffer horribly and make awful choices because paradise for the rest of 1,000 years is worth it. They believe that aside from teaching these kids this, he's also teaching them about espionage and, how to tail people, how to steal information, codes, etc., turning them into spies here in the Commonwealth. They've got photos of him. They've got lists of his known associates, which include Aloysius Carrington and somebody called Professor Severus Snape. Not sure what that's about. They don't have a lot of info on that. They have information on a recent expedition he funded to Zolquia, and they are trying to link him to a bombing and attempted assassination that happened a while ago here in
Mercury
Northport.
City.
Okay.
No,
now
not
I'm
Mercury
very-
City.
Oh, okay.
It was
Cool.
at the army
Perfect.
base. A top secret
Oh.
tank design was blown up, and someone tried to kill General Sagomo. And with that 12 investigation, you recognize one of the names in this dossier. Somebody who disappeared, who was killed during that attack on the army base. His name is Everett, and he is currently a student you were just talking to or walking past at the Donahue Academy.
Wait, he's supposed to be dead?
Yeah, the military thinks he's dead, but you happen to know he's alive and he's at the academy.
Huh. Wait, so he was at the military and now ended up here.
He was involved in this top secret tank. They were building a hover tank.
Oh. Gives me Halo vibes. So he was involved with the military, something accident. Now he's at the Donahue Institute. So
Right.
what is that accident all about? Does that say in the dossier?
Nope. Well, the
How-
military thinks he
how did
died.
from A to Z?
The military
Okay, so the
believes,
institute he died.
right? The military believes that these Omelan spies, trained by Professor Strickland, the guy who the dossier is all about, they believe he trained people to go assassinate this general and sabotage this top secret project. And they successfully sabotaged the project, but they failed to kill the general.
Okay, so you said I just passed the student?
Yeah, like a few minutes ago. He's the guy who's working on engines over at the.
Where are me and John standing at the moment?
You're in a cab, crossing over the bridge.
Ah, shit. I'm already in the cab. That's definitely on the docket for, shoot, do we even... I guess I'll sit on this until John gets back, because, like, I'm still a little up in the air on how urgent all of this is, so
This has nothing to do with anything you've talked about so far, like, at all.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, I'm fine continuing on. I'm just going to keep reading it, I guess. Maybe if there's any more information I get, especially about Dr. Strickland, because you said he funded an expedition to Zolquia. I have a feeling that's a recent one and not the one
Correct.
involving
Last,
probably
like,
Asena and the rest.
Yeah, like the last 6 months.
Did anything come of it?
I believe it was... No, that's not recorded. The military hasn't acquired that information. Because he didn't go on it, he just funded it.
I see. Okay. Wow. Do we want to talk to this guy and, like, ask him questions?
He is an expert in Zolquian antiquity. His specialty is the rise and fall of the old Zolquian Empire.
Okay, we do want to talk to him.
That was why I wanted to talk to him, but then he was almost getting kidnapped.
It was supposed to be, hey, can you help us with this plot? And then there were acts of God, and suddenly it's like, crap, we've activated this entire chain of side quests. Which is kind of connected, but... You guys are not obligated... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, it is so far. So.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
I am obligated. Side quests. Gotta do side quests.
It's true, you gotta keep ahead of the level curve.
That's true.
All right. I think now, as we wrap up close to 3 hours, we started a little late, but as we wrap up close to 3 hours, I think this is a good time for us to revisit Asena. As you enter the study, the door is locked, and when Jasmine opens it, she almost has this reverential air, this moment as she shuts her eyes and bows her head as she turns the key to open the door into the study. And again, the smell of incense permeates the room, emanating from there. The light in this room is dark. You've got this dark stained wood all around, illuminated by two candelabras, one on either side. It's almost set up like an altar. She beckons you into the room.
Okay, I'll slowly walk in.
All right.
Why do I feel like I'm gonna get sacrificed?
Yeah, so when they were explaining, I'd like John to check in during you need to come do this ceremony right now. Chester kind of looks up from Asena's lap, does the whole like large, like I'm being assimilated direct control eyes, and then just puts a paw on Asena's forearm and casts the oh gosh, let me make sure I get the right name of the spell. Cast telepathic link.
Okay. What does that do?
Well, as long as Senna is willing, the two of us, as long as we can see each other, can speak to each other in our brains for the duration of the spell.
Ooh.
All right.
Kind of fun.
The two of you are free to communicate. And Gastone can probably communicate, but it's kind of like bumping someone when they're on the phone. So the three of you can talk. There's just a little bit of a gap. All right, so Asena, all this happens. The door opens. This telepathic contact is established, and Jasmine is beckoning you into the study. Do you enter?
Senna, we're on our way. Don't go in there alone. Stall.
What? You could have talked to me this whole time? Why do I have to stall?
And this is going on in our heads, by the way. Because I think it's really scary for you to go contact a ghost in the middle of a secret base of Army of the Eclipse spies, and they could be your family, but they might not be. And even if they are your family, I'd feel a lot better if Gastone and I were there to just be present. I mean, you've already been mind-zapped by RALZAMON. I feel like you're setting yourself up for a possible possession, or...
Possession?
Well, he's a ghost. That's what they do.
Is a ghost like a Dargan?
I mean, no.
No.
Frankly, no. But it's so imagine if you were alive, and now imagine you died, and someone wanted to talk to you. How would you go about talking to them?
I don't know. I think that's what we're gonna learn how to do today.
Exactly, but a very real possibility is that that ghost has to take on a host in order to speak with someone. Hopefully not, but regardless, I would just feel safer if, we were around when it happened. But regardless, I'm gonna keep an eye on you. Don't worry, and if things go to hell, we'll beat down the door and save you if we need to. But you got this. I'll be right here. Well, Chester will be here, and I'll be watching. Terrified.
What if they put the ghost in Chester?
That'll be really crowded in here if they do.
I imagine Gastone's just sitting in the back of this taxi cab as the driver tries to make small talk. He's like, you ever take the bridge at 6 p.m.? You can't take this bridge at 6 p.m. You go at 5 p.m., you're fine. Like, you're going through this secret document with all this, overseas spies and stuff. John's sitting there with his eyes.
Oh, no, specifically, John's sitting there. Everything he's thinking, John's just saying out loud. No, don't go in there.
The cabbie shuts up. Cabbie shuts up.
John's just like, not shouting, but talking a little too loud,
It's like sleep talking. Oh, don't go in there.
I would normally try to justify it, but the cabbie stopped talking, so I'm just gonna let it play out.
How do you want me to delay them? I feel like they're kind of like ready to go.
How long have you guys been drinking? I mean,
I only had one. What are you talking about?
Jasmine looks at you as you're standing there hesitating. Mental communication is a lot faster, but still, it's all right. I promise everything will be completely safe.
That's what everyone says when
Josiah is wise and compassionate.
Can you give me like a walkthrough of what's gonna happen? Like, am I gonna see Josiah?
Good call.
No. I am a medium. I will open the way and become the vessel of his voice.
I told you, she's gonna possess.
Wait,
What?
herself though.
To John, yeah, I'm gonna be like, I think he's gonna go at her.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be fine, right?
Oh man, this is just really, yeah. Do you trust her? Let me ask you that.
I don't know. She could be my mom.
But do you trust her?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Just use your best judgment, Senna.
This spiky ball is scary.
What spiky ball?
There's a transparent, like a piece of quartz, a natural outcropping of crystal set in a bowl filled with sand. The bowl bears Zolkwian patterns, mosaics around the edge. It sits on the middle of the table with the 2 candelabra on either side and incense burning behind it.
I trust you, Senna. I know that you'll be okay as long as you listen to yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna do this, but you guys hurry up, okay?
We're going as fast as this cab will allow.
Maybe you can make the cab fly or something.
Negative.
Oh, I have some advice for you.
Yeah?
When you go through the big hallway,
Yeah.
for the doors, be sure to try the cheese. It's real good.
And at that point, I think it's been a minute and our telepathy ends.
John, like, before he can respond to that, he just wakes up in the taxi. The cheese? What the?
And then when John's not piloting Chester waits for everyone to be distracted in the seance and tries to steal something from the room
Okay.
for his treasure.
As you look around the room, you see all sorts of accoutrement. You've got necklaces and pieces like bone, beautifully carved objects from distant lands, masks, and a few items of particular note. There is a star chart, an old star chart on one wall. Now, you're not an astronomer, Asena, so you can't really, make much of it. But on the other wall, there is a map, blueprints of Tomorrow Town. You have the crystal in the bowl in the middle, the incense, the candelabra. Do you enter the room?
Yeah.
Okay. Philip and Jasmine enter as well. Jasmine removes the feather, sets it down. She sort of reaches for your hands.
Okay. I'll I don't know. I'm just gonna touch her hand.
All right. She's like trying to steer you to stand directly on one side of the room, very gently and delicately, and you're not exactly sure what she's going for here.
Okay.
All right.
I'll follow what she's doing and sort of mimic it to Philip. And see if he's gonna. I don't know what we're doing.
Just stand here. It'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
All right. She removes her headband, sets it down, takes a piece of blue cloth and drapes it over her shoulders and over her head. She extinguishes the 2 inner candles. It's a 5-candle candelabra. She extinguishes candles 3, 2, and 4 on both sides, wafts the incense in front of her. Puts her hands out over the crystal and says, "Master of the Eclipse, departed one, speak to me through the 4 worlds. From beyond the golden veil, I await thee." She shudders and twitches, and the candles flicker and rise up. She takes a deep breath, and she looks you in the eye, and your pulse spikes, and a presence fills the room. An energy you have beheld before crawls across the area.
"So, daughter of the Eclipse, I find you once again."
As the voice of RALZAMON speaks through Jasmine Rui's character. And thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week with more Coriander Society adventures.
Well, frickin' done.
Fun fact, I'm pretty sure Beatdown called this.
Really?
Yeah. Like last episode, when I was mentioning Josiah Parsons, who was on the expedition, I think he muttered, "Watch him be RALZAMON."
Oh, I did say that.
Yeah, 100%. You said that.
Brain is just too.
This is not good.
big.
Not good.
I mean, I did caution you to wait for us.
Abort.
I would have liked to be wrong. Not gonna lie, but he called you daughter of the eclipse, so you really are his brother and her daughter.
That's what it seems like.
Just a thought.
What the
I don't know. I'm
hell?
looking for positives here. Okay.
What the hell?
The silver lining on an otherwise sloppy pile of poo.
So
Maybe he's a good guy.
I was about to say in before RALZAMON's a good guy. Probably not.
That'd be really funny.
just because you are a bad guy does not mean that you are a bad guy.
I fucking love Wreck-It Ralph.
This feels like the road to hell situation. This guy might have started off with good intentions, but his methods are madness.
There's a non-zero chance he's dead. Or faking it. Either is possible.
Ooh.
Or he could be a patron.
Also possible. When, I'm pretty sure, by the way, that the treasure that chat gave to Chester, that Chester's going to steal, it's either going to be a charm from the wall, or it's going to be the goddamn crystal. I'm kind of thinking he's just going to steal the crystal.
That's what my plan was. I didn't want to be so bold,
Okay.
but yeah. That
No.
was my-
I'm going to say, chat, thank you for spending the channel points. Chester gets the crystal. It's not really going to get resolved this time. I apologize for that. But next time, that's what's going down. Asena
good.
gets a diamond necklace. Chester gets the haunted crystal.
And Gastone gets a bunch of questions in the form of a dossier.
Like a bajillion, even beyond the dossier.
When we return, we will pick up this scene as the taxi cab careens just a plot-appropriate, dramatic couple of blocks away at the very foot of the skyscraper. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You can watch the rest of this show at youtube.com/castersandcastles. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time.